Hello everybody, this is Andrea Hurd, and I'm going to be talking about VoiceThread today. I saw that some other classmates chose this resource as well, so in addition to sharing what I've learned and its capabilities and how it works, I will also be giving one example of how I would use it with my kindergarten class. So this might be beneficial for those who have students in primary grades, K-2, and to create a sort of blended learning environment in their classroom. So what I've learned. It's a great resource for communicating, collaborating, and connecting. So VoiceThread can be used from any computer and any web browser, and it has mobile capabilities with iPad, iPhone, or iPod Touch. So this is great for students that are going to be working on this at home and maybe don't have access to a desktop computer, but they have access to mobile devices. One great tool for when we're considering distance education is that you can integrate VoiceThread seamlessly with your learning management systems. There is a Chrome app, so that's also important to note. And another really cool thing, this is great for teachers. They have workshops, and you can learn anything from just the basics of how to create VoiceThreads, all the way to, different pedagogical applications of VoiceThread for all subjects and grade levels. You can track and monitor your organization's use of VoiceThread, as well as using their curated library of VoiceThreads. And these are created by educators and students, and these are great for getting ideas, or you may find one you like and you might want to share it and then have your students use it in their class, with your class. It's easily accessible to anyone at any time and anywhere. It's great for participation and collaboration, which I will get to in a minute. And then for security purposes, which is really important with, younger kids especially, VoiceThread is committed to keeping your data secure. You get to choose whether things are shared privately or publicly. All right, so VoiceThread is easy to create a new VoiceThread. It's easy to add media to your VoiceThread, and there are, you can add so many different types of media, videos, images, there's just a very large variety of different types of media you can add, documents. In addition, it's easy to comment. So once you've created your VoiceThread, you've added the slides that you want in your VoiceThread, then you can go through and you can annotate over these. You can voice over these, draw attention to certain parts of your slide and information in your slide. And then it's easy to share, and once it's shared, others can then add comments with their voice, text, video, phone, etc. It's really great for storytelling. I saw a lot of examples of students using it to create kind of an album or a book or a poetry book. It's great for meetings, so it can be used between teacher to teacher, or student to student, or student to teacher. It's also really great for presentations, debates. Like I said before, it's a really great tool for collaboration. And it's really easy to have discussions with VoiceThread, with its commenting capabilities. And students and teachers can publish and comment on these VoiceThreads. Another really great thing about VoiceThread is it can be used across subject areas and at almost any level of the SAMR model. And when I speak of SAMR model, I'm talking about substitution versus augmentation versus modification versus redefinition. And ultimately, we're trying to use technology that will redefine what we can do. So I will discuss a few of these and I'm going to be keeping in mind a student-centered approach in the examples that I've given. So it can be used across subject areas, like I've said. For math, you can use it for MathCast. And when I'm talking about MathCast, I'm talking about demonstrations of solutions, sharing and discussing solutions to math problems, story problems. It's also good for identification and classification of shapes. So that's really good for primary grades. And then you can actually, as a teacher, create interactive activities. You could create a story problem and then have kids walk through the story problem and share how they're solving each part. And then it can be a discussion. Then if I'm getting into social studies, students can create commentary and reflection on current events that are happening. They can analyze historical artifacts or analyze political images or even propaganda in the secondary level. And then you can also have kids create geography reports and presentations. They could choose their country they want to share, and then they could create different slides and voice over and annotate over them to share their information and present their information. When we're getting into science, I'm talking about presenting and sharing experiments, which is really interesting. You don't see that very often. So this could be almost like an interactive lab report. So in addition to these interactive lab reports, you can also have identification and classification of different species. You can create animal reports. So there's just a variety of different things you can do with each subject area. And then when we get into reading, I've seen examples of personal narratives. I've seen examples of class books where teachers have created a page, and then they've added to each page maybe a student's writing, writing activity or illustration, and then the students then voice over each one or add text to each one, and it creates this class book. It's a very collaborative project. And then also it's great for book reviews. So then if we're going to get into special areas like music, gym, art, technology, and library, students can create book reviews in library. They can have portfolios in music and art. They could have virtual gallery walks in art. And this could be you as a teacher upload the different artwork, the different art projects that a class has created, almost to create a museum of that class's artwork. And then each student could go in and then voice over and annotate over the art and give some background behind it and share their thinking behind their creations. Or it could be sharing different creations from famous artists and then having the students have discussions about that artwork. In PE, it's great for introductions to new sports. And then students can then ask questions about the new sports to the teacher. And then there could be a whole class discussion with it.